Welcome to the Draft Board Hockey Show, special episode. I'm Mark and my boy Link from New Wave Hockey. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. I am very excited for this draft.
And tomorrow, guess what's happening? It's the NHL draft, and guess what we're doing? We are going to be live streaming it. Yes, live stream of the draft tomorrow. Link and I are going to be talking about each pick. We're going to give some insight as to, what's happening, stuff like that. It's going to be a blast. Please join us. The link is going to be up soon, and you'll be able and go and like the link because that helps get traffic to it. So if you can do that, give it the thumbs up, and but that's what we're doing tomorrow. So I just wanted to say that. So Link, let me know, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great. I'm excited for this live stream. Oh my gosh. This feels like a holiday to me, the NHL draft. I always go nuts for it every single year. But yeah, do watch the live stream. Watching our live reaction is going to be like priceless. We're going to give you the analysis that we think of the second. It's going to hit us like a truck. There is going to be a pick in the top 10, multiple picks in the top 10. We're like, what are they thinking? We're like, oh my gosh. So it's going to be awesome. So you're going to want to watch. You're going to want to stick around for it, especially if you cut the cord. Not a big cable guy, but the draft today, we're going to be going through every single first round pick. We're going to be giving our thoughts, who we think is going to go there. I have my own mock draft coming out today as well. So we'll figure it out.
Yes.
We'll see what's going on. Maybe coming out tomorrow. So I kind of have my own little bias. I try to see how many guys I can get right in a round. I think I got like 4 or 5 last year. So we'll see what happens. But
so like we said, live stream tomorrow, NHL draft, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Join us, please. We'd love the support. And so today we're going to go over the mock. Let's get that loaded up here. Okay, so we are going to go through each of these picks, and we're going to say who we think should go to each team and why. We'll present our cases. It's just a fun, quick exercise of futility. So, Link, first overall, New York Islanders, who they taking?
it's a tough decision here. I don't know. I'm kidding. No, I think it's going to be Matthew Schaefer here. Everyone talks about the needed defense. It's dire. And though I like Michael Misa more, and I'm sure some people do, Matthew Schaefer is pretty consensus the first overall pick. And Gary Bettman's only going to be announcing one name tomorrow, and I think it's going to be Matthew Schaefer first overall. So we'll see how it all goes, but I think that's the most sure pick of this draft at first. So
yeah, I agree with you. You know what, the consensus is number one, and typically when it's like that, it rarely changes. Yeah, I think that Schaefer's going to go first overall for sure. All right, next at 2, San Jose. Now this is where it gets a little bit interesting because there has been rumblings of a potential climber into the second position. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, Michael Misa is what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking Michael Misa too. The Frondell thing to me is just noise. I think it's just noise because you can't trust anything a general manager or just any rumors that come out around the draft unless it's like you don't know what to trust is my point.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to be like, oh, Anton Frondell. They might goad the Blackhawks into trading up one pick. No, I think this is going to be Misa. I think it would be kind of ridiculous not to take Michael Misa second overall if he slips past the Islanders, which he will. And I think San Jose is getting a great player there. No knock on Anton Frondell. He's not going to fall too far in my mock too. So let's move on to the next pick.
Okay, so Chicago at 3. So you're saying Frondell goes 3 to Chicago?
Yeah. I would draft Hagens here personally, but every indication kind of seems like it's going to go Anton Frondell here. He is a very solid player. I mean, he's climbed up your board. He's climbed up my board significantly. He really played his way back into discussions after kind of coming out of the gate a little slow. Great scoring ability, really solid passing ability. He's offensively very talented. I have a few players ranked ahead of him, but that list is very few and far between. I totally see the rationale for Chicago to take a player like this to pair with Connor Bedard because I think it would be very fruitful in the end.
Yeah, you know what? So, discussion-wise, there has been potentially, like, say, Porter Martone would probably be the next person that potentially could be in that position.
The prospect Don is always like, it's Caleb Desnoyers. So
Caleb Desnoyers. So there's a few people that, so this is, I think, where it gets a little bit it might get a little bit crazy after this pick, I think, or from this pick on. All right. And then at number 4, Utah. Utah's another one that I find that there are a potential few different options and scenarios that can go down for Utah. And I've seen a range of, all kinds of stuff. Now, Utah has historically drafted pretty big. And so do you think they pass up on the talent of James Hagens at number 4? You're a James Hagens fan, so
I'm a believer. I love James Hagens. But I know he's going to fall close to Philadelphia, if not all the way down to 6, much to my chagrin, because I love James Hagens. But I think there are 3 real big contenders here for Utah's pick, and that is Porter Martone, who I think is the most likely, Caleb Desnoyers, and Brady Martin. As kind of crazy as top 4 Brady Martin sounds, people like him. People really do like him. There's a lot of prowess behind that. I do think in the end, though, I'm going to go with Martone here at 4. I know it's really hard to pass up. When you got the size and you've got the playmaking ability that he does, you're building a team for the playoffs there in Utah. So I think this is the right pick for them and what they're doing in their window. So yeah, Porter Martone, 4.
Yeah, I can't see them passing up Martone. I mean, the other person, Hagens doesn't really fit their mold.
They already have Cooley too.
Yeah, so. Exactly. So I mean, if they want to go a little bit bigger, they could go Desnoyers. He'd be a great 2C. So yeah. So and I'm torn on that one. I'd say Desnoyers, Martone is probably my 2 top picks for that area. I mean, you could maybe throw in a little Brian Spice on there too, maybe. Okay, Nashville at 5. Now, is this where Hagens goes?
Yeah, I think it's hard after the year that they had, it's hard for me to see Hagens slip past 5. If he does, Philadelphia is going to get him, and I'm going to be ecstatic. We're going to be ecstatic. It's going to be great. Yeah. But I don't think he slips past here at 5. I think Nashville is going to go best available.
Okay. So then we got Philadelphia now at 6. So we're both Flyers fans. What do Flyers do here? So now we got a couple of options here. Do they spice it up and go uber talented, Jake O'Brien? Do they go with the reliable 200-foot, got a little nice offensiveness to him, Caleb Desnoyers, brothers in the system? What other options do we have here?
I think you're just kind of down to Desnoyers and O'Brien. It's really whoever Nashville and Utah don't pick. Because if Martone's available, Hagens available, that makes things more interesting. I think Hagens is the number 1 guy, should be the number 1 guy on Briere's list. Maybe it's Martone, who knows? But I think it's going to be a tough decision between Jake O'Brien and Caleb Desnoyers. But I do feel like Caleb Desnoyers at this level, I would take him. I would take Desnoyers right here. I think that's ultimately where they're going to go. He played very physical. Went deep into the playoffs. This team won the QMJHL championship. He was the MVP. It's hard for me to not pick him here.
What about Brady Martin? A lot of Brady Martin love too.
That's also just smoke and wind. I don't know. I'm hoping it is. I love Brady Martin. I don't want him at 6. Yeah. I have to be transparent. So,
all right, then Boston's next at 7.
This one's tough.
This all depends on O'Brien. So say we go Desnoyers, then there's O'Brien, Martin. A lot of people are saying Martin, O'Brien, McQueen starts to get talk around here, but
I'm saving McQueen for a very McQueen level GM. So I'm very simple here. I don't think Brady Martin gets past Boston. I think there are 2 spots where he could probably land. It's going to be Utah or Boston, and I don't think Don Sweeney's going to pass him up. That's as simple as that.
Yeah. See, you know what? I'm of the team of skill, and I like O'Brien. I would take. At this point, I'd take O'Brien over Martin, even though. See, the thing with Martin, those types of players, when they're physical, but they're kind of smallish, they're not 6'4", they're not 6'5". There's something that's got to give. It's either, you lose your points or you lose your physicality. I don't think you can. It's hard for a player to be physical the way he is and put up big points. So I don't know. Yeah. I think that's a tough one. I personally might go O'Brien at this spot.
I don't know. I just think that Boston's going to make that justification. I think they're going to probably aim for a guy like Martin. It's hard for me to see them it's hard for me seeing them draft O'Brien. It's not that I think O'Brien's the better player for sure. That's who I would draft in the situation. But
just based on
exactly,
okay. Number 8 is Seattle. Thoughts on Seattle?
It's Radim Mrtka. Like, move on. He's going to be stable for them. I think this is your again. They had Carson at one point.
What if Brady Martin's available here?
I think they're going to go D. I really do.
Yeah,
honestly,
especially right D. Right, they're kind of loaded on the left side there. So
could it be Logan Hensler? I don't know. No, look if they do end up going for a forward, if Martin's here, maybe McQueen. I think McQueen could be in contention for 8. But it's real. I think it's going to be Mrtka. I think it's hard to.
Yeah, that's what I have in my mock, so we'll go with Mrtka there. All right, number 9, Buffalo. I think this would be a good landing spot for Brady Martin. They need a little bit of toughness, a little bit of grit, and I think that would be nice. But if he's gone to Boston, and you can't pass up Jake O'Brien at this point, I mean, you got to go best available, even though they're loaded up with young talent up front. I mean, and the thing is you can use it as trade bait, right? Just like Matthew Savoy, you know what I mean? And yeah.
No, he fits. Yeah. O'Brien, I feel like is O'Brien to the Sabres. That's the furthest I have him falling.
What about
in any mock?
What about a D?
A D?
They're loaded on the left. The left that's their whole D powers.
They could go with Hensler. Could they go with Hensler in the top 10?
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I think it's a little contentious. If Mrtka gets here, this is Mrtka landing spot territory. I don't think he gets past Seattle though. So I guess we'll see. But I think O'Brien is going to fall here. If O'Brien's gone, I think Eklund could be a player here. I think McQueen's obviously in play here. Kevin Adams, he's going to get a player here. He really will. He's going to get somebody that I really like. So I think I would take O'Brien if I were them at this spot. I like Eklund a little bit more, but he's a wing. And unfortunately, he probably will fall outside of the top 10, which sucks for me as a big Eklund fan. So we'll see. So let's keep going.
All right. 10. So 10 is Anaheim. What is Anaheim going to do now?
This is McQueen territory for me. I'm going full McQueen here. This is where Roger McQueen goes.
That's where I got him in my mock too. McQueen, nice and easy.
I think Eklund could be in contention here. Anaheim has drafted Swedes in the past, but I think overall WHL center wing type player, give me McQueen.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Eklund, you can make a case for Eklund. They got Seneca on the wing and right wing, and they could add Eklund would be nice. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got 11 is Pittsburgh. Now Pittsburgh, we know now that the Rangers gave up that pick, so it's Pittsburgh back-to-back Jacks here. Do they go forward D?
Look, when you got back-to-back picks here, you tend to go forward D. That's what New York did the last time they had theirs, and they went Wallstrom and Dobson. Boston did D forward. I think right here they are going to go first. I think where they're going to go with Lynden Lakovic or Justin Carbonneau. I'm going to lead towards Lynden Lakovic. I'm not as high on him. I like Justin Carbonneau more. I think he gives more to the Penguins, but I feel like Lakovic is a Dubas guy. I really do. Dubas is going to be really on to Lakovic. And then at 12, I'm going to go defenseman. It's hard to pass up Jackson Smith. Kashawn Aitcheson is here, but like Jackson Smith, I think it's hard to pass up on him.
Yeah, and I agree. I think they go Jackson Smith is my opinion, and then a forward, depending on who's left over. So like say we were talking about who was sliding here. So you had potentially McQueen, Eklund, those kinds of players. So yeah, I think they go one of those, a forward, and then Jackson Smith. I think that would be the best outcome for them for sure.
Absolutely.
So Pittsburgh, Detroit. Okay, this is 13 Detroit. Funny story. My brother is at a Detroit Tigers game right now. I was working. He's here from British Columbia, and he just sent me a picture of him and Steve Yzerman. Yeah.
What?
My brother is a huge Yzerman fan. Like, you have no idea. That's his most favorite. He told me he was awestruck. I didn't get the full details as to how they met, but he sends me a picture while I'm at work with him and Steve Yzerman on a bridge. So they must be downtown somewhere. And I'm like, what? I was like, what is going on right now? Yeah, I missed out.
Just get that picture on here if you can in post.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the most interesting man, the man we're all trying to predict where he's going. Probably him or Verbeek in this entire draft cycle. God, I love Stevie Yzerman. I know people. How could you not? People have been critical of the Yzer plan, but I still love him. And here at 13, Victor Eklund's going to stop sliding here. The talent level combined with the compete fits the Red Wing type of build that he's trying to do. But Sweden, the amount of skill that he has, the buck stops at 13 for Eklund. I think he's going to stop here.
Now, so a lot of chatter about Kashawn Aitcheson going here at 13.
Yeah.
So, okay, so Carter Bear, Eklund, Kashawn Aitcheson.
Bear's here too. I like Eklund. I think Eklund has the highest upside of all of them. It could be like, hey, he's too similar to a guy like Marco Kasper, and they've been drafting these types of players for a bit, but I see more offensive upside in Eklund. They could go Lakovic here if he falls, absolutely. Aitcheson is here too. It's hard. I like that, but I think Eklund, this is really an Eklund type of pick, honestly. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think if Eklund's still around, I mean, that's the kind of player that they tend to go with. But like you said, they could maybe change it up here. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go Columbus at 14. So this is an interesting one. Columbus at 14. Yeah. What do you think of Columbus at 14?
I really had one guy for this whole role because I really think they're going defenseman. I really think they're gonna go with a guy who I think will play sooner rather than later. I think I've picked him whenever you've given me Columbus in our mock drafts. Give me Logan Hensler. I think Logan Hensler is going to go here at 14. That's kind of how I felt the whole year.
Yeah, you know, they could definitely use some help on the right D. Their left D are pretty. Let me see who we got after this. We got Vancouver. Sorry. So yeah, on left they got Werenski and Matejchuk and Svozil on the left. So I mean, yeah. Forward wise, anyone pique your interest here?
I really like Malcolm Spence or Justin Carbonneau potentially, but like they have those types of players already in their system. I think they're very forward heavy.
Loaded forwards, young forwards up front.
They're very loaded. And I think with a guy like Marchenko, I don't think you're going to need a guy like Spence or Carbonneau. So we'll see. I don't know.
Okay. So we got Vancouver at 15, which is an interesting one.
They will go best player available here, whether it's forward or whatever, but because Justin Carbonneau is staring them right in the face. But I think Kashawn Aitcheson is a defenseman here they're going to go with. They need toughness. They need physicality. I think Alvin is staring at kind of this season, and he's looking at this team needs to be more physical on the ice, more soft in the locker room type of deal. And Kashawn Aitcheson is a very funny guy. He's a very good locker room guy, but he's also very punishing on the ice. He's got very good defensive awareness. I could totally see the Canucks and Aitcheson being a fit made in heaven. So,
what about any forward? Like you said, Carbonneau.
Yeah.
What about Lynden Lakovic?
I think
Lakovic is around. You think
Lakovic's around? I think Lakovic's going to be valued pretty high. I don't know if he makes it to 15.
Yeah.
I don't have Lakovic that high, but I think he's going to go pretty high. This is where I start to consider Carter Bear. I think Carter Bear is going to fall a little bit past the 12 spot. I think he's going to feature really prominently when we talk about the back-to-back Canadian picks. Other guys that I have like in this range, of course, Malcolm Spence is always going to be here this early. I think you start talking about like a ton of people at this range. I said Justin Carbonneau.
Yeah, this draft is going to be, like I said, it's going to be after 2. It's going to be all over the map.
Exactly.
Let's see here. So we got the Habs 1-2 right here. So I mean, yeah, we're like, so if you lose, I was thinking Logan Hensler at this point, but if he goes before that, then you got Carter Bear, you got Malcolm Spence, did we say Kashawn Aitcheson is going to Vancouver?
I said it. I don't know where you have him going, but I said that Aitcheson, I think, doesn't make it past the 15th pick.
Yeah. Okay. So okay. So if we say he's gone, so is there any D? Because do they go forward? Did they need a right hand D?
The thing is, I don't know how
right hand D.
They could use a right hand D. I don't know how badly they need one, because at the spot you're not getting somebody who's going to be on your team for at least 2 to 3 years, at least 2 years, I would say. Even if Hensler is available, if one of the forward defensemen are available, which I don't think they will. Mrtka is not falling here. If Hensler does fall here, I take Hensler. But I like 2 forwards here, and I think Carter Bear and Justin Carbonneau are 2 guys that can fall here and will get taken by them. So we'll see.
Montreal typically they don't draft French Canadians or Quebec forwards too often, even if they're available.
The thing, yeah.
I mean, because of the spotlight, it's hard for a French Canadian kid for a Quebec kid to play in Montreal because there's a lot of spotlight on you. You know what I mean? You got to be able to handle the pressure. Can Justin Carbonneau do that? He seems like a funny kid. Him, and anytime I've watched interviews with him and Desnoyers, they're always joking around and laughing and having a good time. And they say they're good. They're 2 good dressing room guys. So
yeah, and I think I totally think that that's going to play a huge factor in it. I think they've done their extensive research when it comes to talking to this kid, kind of being like, hey, what would it mean to play in Montreal? Because you have to assess that every single time. But if Justin Carbonneau is there at 16, I think he's too high of a talent to pass up, personally. You have to take that bet. You have to take that chance. He may be Quebecois, whatever. You have to worry about the limelight, sure. But I feel like any prospect has to deal with that to some extent. It might be magnified with Carbonneau, but the pedigree there, I think, is too high to pass up.
All right, so let's go to the next pick here. We got Calgary at number 18. So what's your thoughts on we're missing count of all the players here. We probably should have wrote them down, but
yeah,
kind of spitballing as to who would fit.
We're spitballing. I think you start to consider a guy like Malcolm Spence, a guy like Bill Zonin here as well. Maybe Blake Fiddler moves down. Cole Retchney, I'd take Braden Coots ahead of
Braden Coots. I totally forgot about Braden Coots because I drafted him earlier in my draft. So yeah, I
don't know how high people have people on their board. I don't know how high some people have this guy on their boards, but Ben Kindell, I'm telling you, he's a very smart kid. He could stay in Calgary. I really think so. But if I had a pick out of a hat, I'd either say Bill Zonin or Braden Coots here. I think Braden Coots seems like a fit in Calgary's system and what they're trying to build. So I give me one of those 2 centers.
Okay. Let's do St. Louis. Now, St. Louis, this is a lot of mock. It's funny because when you're mocking these and you get the comments, for some reason, St. Louis people come in guns a-blazing, just like, no, we don't want that guy. No. So seriously, I kid you not.
I can't wait to see this prospect in their new baby blue jerseys because that was a really clean redesign. All right, yeah. I like that. Yeah. I really did. See, this is one of those picks where you're just like, they could go anywhere with this one. I think they could really do a bunch of things here. But if I had to pick, I might go them leaning more defense at this pick. And I think that looks at a guy like Cameron Reed. It looks at a guy like Blake Fiddler, Sasha Boumedienne. So that's the kind of the 3 that I'm looking at.
Cameron Reed's a left shot, Boumedienne's a left shot, and Fiddler's a right shot.
Shot.
Yeah. Well, I look at their center core, and they don't really have anything electric. You know what I mean?
Cullen Potter?
You read my mind. I know you know Colin Potter. In our little mock or group mock, I went opposite because I probably in my mind I was like I should go Colin Potter, but then I kind of threw a wrench in it. But no, I'd say because they're looking for a right hand D, so Blake Fiddler would be not bad. I don't think that'd be a pretty good pickup here.
There are always more defensemen than you expect that go in the first round.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, always. Oh, always. Yeah. Okay, so we'll say you like Blake Fiddler here?
Yeah, I can do Blake Fiddler here. I have him higher than I honestly thought I would have ranked him, but he landed where he landed. No spoilers. But he, I think he could totally go here. Totally.
Okay. Now we got Columbus, their second pick right now. So who did we? Columbus, we went with a D, right? We went Logan Hensler. So now we're probably going to go forward. Do you think?
Yes. Yeah. And if I'm between two guys personally, Spence is here. I think if you really want, but I talk about them.
Yeah, they need that.
They might need that, but I'm banging the table for Bill Zonin here. Honestly, that's the guy that I think they're gonna really prefer. Center here, they got a, like, maybe he can play the wing, but you've got effort in both. They've got effort in one, the embodiment of heart, and then some guy who can take over games and be very, very effective. So you kind of have to pick and choose here. I think it's going to come down to those two if they're both available by this point. I think they will be. So who knows? I think this is kind of where you look at those two, and that's where they stop the slide.
Yeah, it's I'm kind of losing track of who we're picking here, but okay, we'll say Zonin to Columbus. Ottawa at 21. Now this would be an interesting one for sure.
It's another one where I'm like, this could be a junior Sen going up to the big Sens with Malcolm Spence here. Ben Kendall could be here. I think you start talking about guys like Alex Zarovsky here.
Oh, I think that's a little too early for Zarovsky.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. He could be pretty. Look. At least I'm not saying my boy. I have someone else in this range, but Cullen Potter, I think, is also. This is where we start the discussion of Cullen Potter, and all that. I think they're going to go forward at the end of the day. That's essentially where this leans. They made the playoffs, and they have a solid defensive core in my mind. You got to get best player available. I think Malcolm Spence builds on if he's here. So we'll see.
No, you wouldn't go skill, because they already got some pretty good grit in Ottawa. Do you go like a Kendall maybe? Ben Kendall?
Kendall, yeah, I could totally see Kendall as well. I don't know why I didn't say that in the three names I just mentioned.
Okay. All right, let's see here. Oh, Philadelphia, the 22nd overall pick. So at number 6, we picked Desnoyers. So now at 22, do we go D?
No. So I don't know if they're going to go defenseman, because if Blake Fiddler's here, I think the argument for Blake Fiddler is very, very high. I think he will fall to this location at 22. It's just a matter of whether they take him or not. But here at 22 is where you start discussion of a lot of guys that are grit. There's a lot of grit guys that enter the discussion here and kind of stay in here for a while. I look at a guy like Shane Van Sage. I look at a guy like Will Horkoff could go this high. I look at a guy, Jacob East Wozniak, maybe Sasha Boumedienne, if we want defense. The rationale for me is they didn't take Zeev Boyum last year, and he was a left shot defenseman with offensive upside. I don't know how credible it would be to predict Cameron Reed here. So that's kind of where I land.
Yeah, I don't know if they go Cameron Reed. If Blake Fiddler is here, that's who I have in my mock is Blake Fiddler at this point. If he drops, like you said, he might have got picked up a little bit earlier. All depends, because especially right shot D, they typically go higher than they're supposed to. Left shot D goal sometimes drop a little bit. Zeev Boyum, case in point. So yeah, you know what? He probably shouldn't have dropped that much, but all right. So we'll say, what do we say? We're saying
since Blake Fiddler's off the board for me, I'm gonna say Shane Van Sage. I think the grit there. I have him ranked pretty high too. I will say that.
Oh,
but I think you will.
We didn't even talk about Trevor Zegras yet.
Huh? Oh my God! Wait,
what happened there, Link? That's your boy. Your boy.
We got so excited talking about the draft.
Well, you know what? But we talked about it off camera. We talked about Trevor Zegras. So we
did. And we can put this at the front of the show too. But Trevor Zegras. I haven't been coy about this ever. Let me get away with my notifications so you can see who my background has been ever since I was 16 years old. Ever since his first World Juniors appearance, my background on my phone has been, let me get rid of all my notifications, has been Trevor Zegras, right there, World Juniors. I've lived it, I breathed it. I've been a huge fan of him. It happened. I can recall the date. Monday, June 23rd. I was sitting at home. I was finishing up my graphics that I posted on Instagram for my final draft rankings, and I get a call from my friend. He's like, "Hey, Zegras make a trade." I'm like, "No, I hope not." And then he gets traded to the Flyers. I literally I cried for like I'm man enough to admit that I cried. I did
Awesome.
cry. So
And then you're just waiting now for what number he's going to select so that you can get his jersey.
he's already
ASAP.
he's already picked 46. The jersey's already over. It's on its way to my house. So
Wow,
don't you worry.
I love it.
So,
Okay, you're gonna have it by tomorrow, hopefully.
I didn't get overnight shipping, Mark. I'm not that bougie. Come on.
All right. So Nashville at 22 or 23, their next pick. What does Nashville do at this location here?
Here is where I like Cameron Reed. Here's where I love Nashville's their track record of developing young defensemen. Even Dante Fabro. I still think they consistently put out very solid young defensemen. They have a track record going as long as Dave Poyle's been in this organization, and he's still there. So I think if anyone's going to make Cameron Reed work, and if he's here, I totally think Nashville takes a swing.
Okay, so say hypothetically Cameron Reed's gone. What forward do we take now?
I like
we went with Hagens at 5.
We did go with Hagens at 5.
Yeah.
I like Malcolm Spence with that little spice that he brings to the game. Fansagi's here as well. He's well within this discussion.
Yeah.
They went with Yegor Shurin last year, which I think tells you a lot. They're willing to take Russians. I think Zhuravsky is very much in the conversation here as well.
I don't see. I'm not sure I have Zhuravsky in the first round, just because of the what if, the what if.
There is some what if there, but I think you're late enough in the first round where I think you start to take a look at him.
And it's not as deep of a draft either. So yeah, okay. LA. Oh, I got a discussion about this tonight actually coming up. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say about Los Angeles. So what are your thoughts on LA, La La Land? What did I take? I took with Cameron Reed here.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't make it,
I think they go with whoever falls. They lucked into Liam Greentree last year.
Oh,
that's crazy. Yeah.
Actually, they traded that. They originally they were at 21. Dropped back to 24, got an extra pick, and now if they work that magic, and you know what? So I watched on YouTube. It was like an interview with the GM there. Who's the GM there? Was it the GM or the head of scouting?
I'm blanking on the GM.
It wasn't a GM.
Blake?
No, I can't remember. But anyway, so he was saying that they tiered it out, and then they said that where they said they were going to land a player within that tier, so they could trade from 21 to 24 and still land their player, a player in that tier. And that's why they did it. And they got Greentree. I was like, whoa, you know what the funny thing is, last year I said LA should take Greentree and they took Greentree. So
there you go.
1 for 1. Now
1 for 1.
Who do you think here? They could probably go center.
Yeah. I like Spence. I really do here.
You like Spence? Really? I thought, didn't we draft Spence already?
Yeah, but he's like, if he falls here. I think you start to talk about Will Horkoff here too. I think you start to talk about Cole Reshny.
I was just about to say Reshny. That was probably
but it's in LA. They might go with some flash, some dash.
Zhuravsky. This is where we say Zhuravsky go.
I was going to say Colin Potter, but hey,
Zhuravsky is he still around? Come on.
Colin Potter's still around.
No, Colin Potter's not falling this far. Let's go.
We'll see. Hey, look. It's always possible when a guy's 5'9". I think it's possible for him to fall. I think we can discuss him like this low, but I don't know. I think they are looking for two-way with their forwards as well with this. So give me Horkoff, because we haven't been writing this down. So I give me Horkoff here.
Chi-Town, second pick in the first round. Who are they going to go with here? Now, a lot of banter, a lot of talk, a lot of the prospect Don is putting out there. Vaclav Nestrasil here.
I'm not that high in Nestrasil, but I can see it. I think he enters the discussion as early as Nashville's second pick. Obviously. I like them, going defense here, going offensive defense here, maybe taking a swing at a guy like Sasha Boumedienne. But I think Horkoff, Michigan to Chicago, stay there. I like Nestrasil. I can see a lot of people here. I will say Nestor that I do like that. If Van Saggy's still here, if he falls here, I think that's well within the play here too. Just think big. Got to think big here.
Yeah,
so.
you know what? They definitely need big. Yeah, you know what? Like you said, Horkoff, Van Saggy, Nestor still 6'6" or whatever he is. Yeah, I think they probably go big. Yeah, so let's do that. Okay. Nashville's the next. Here's the next pick there. Nashville 26.
They might reach here. I think could be like a reaching pick. You start to talk about a guy like Jack Nesbitt here. Maybe Eddie Genborg. I think is another guy here. You want kind of stability with this pick. Cole Retchney, obviously. Colin Potter, obviously. But those kind of like smaller skill guys usually feature in the first or second picks in the second round. I don't want them to fall that far. I'm just saying it's happened before. But I think a third pick in the first round, they've had 3 picks in the first round before. I'm thinking of St. Louis from 2 years ago. No, but I think third pick in the first round, you got to go with a guy who is well-rounded, two-way forward. And I like Eddie Genborg here. I might even mock him here, low-key. But him or Nesbitt, I think would be
they
good
go two forwards, 1D then in the first with their 3 pick.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to probably be a few trades, so this might not even happen. But okay, let's go Washington. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Now I got a pick for Washington. You tell me who yours is. I'll tell you who mine is. 1 pick.
All right. Alex Zarowski. I've been talking about him enough. I think he stops here. He's high flying. Look, he's hit or miss, but 27 with the success that Washington had this year, you take that swing. If it's not even traded.
What about a big D from London? Henry Bustadovic.
Hey, H-Town. All right. I see it.
I think that I like a little D action in this pick right here. All right. Winnipeg at 28. I think they go Jack Nesbitt here if he's still around.
Yes. If Horkoff and Potter are gone, that's where they go. But I think Horkoff and Potter are 2 guys that they look at and they're like,
I can't see Potter slipping this far, to be honest with you. I don't see it. I don't see him slipping out of top 25.
I've seen higher class talents like fall for
that. And like that speed. He's 5'10". He's just so fast. He's responsible in all 3 zones. I don't know. But I mean,
I'm not saying he will. I'm saying he can. He can.
Oh yeah. Oh no. And I'm not saying he will. I can't see it, but like you said, the smaller guys sometimes they start to dip, and the big guys start to get drafted later on. So okay. So you got your pick. I got my pick. Carolina at 29.
If we didn't already have him going, Retchney here. Because again, that's
did we give Retchney to someone?
If we did, I don't remember it. So, yeah. So here is you're typically getting your skill pick out of the way. With this pick, I like an American here. I think they might take a chance on like a Jack Mrtka, a Cole McKinney here. 2 very talented US and TDP players.
What about Will Smith though?
Will Smith? I mean Will Moore.
Oh, sorry, Will Moore.
Will Moore.
You know what?
I don't think he goes to the first round.
I didn't like Will Moore, but I thought he looked a lot better at the U18s. I thought he looked better at the U18s, and I can see why. And you got to remember, this is a Boston College commit, so he's got to be a half decent player, right?
My whole thing with Will Moore is that I don't care how good he looked in the U18s. I didn't like his season at all. You might hate how low I have Will Moore in my draft rankings. You might really hate it. But yeah, I was not a huge fan of his season. I don't know if he's going to go in the first round. If he does, you might hear some choice words from me on the live stream. So we'll see. But I think Riker Lee's also in contention here too.
Oh yeah, Riker Lee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think those are some other people as well.
All right, San Jose now with their second pick in this round. So we went with Misa in the first pick. So I think they go size here. Maybe. I like Nestor still here too. Yeah. I think that's a really good fit. We talk about East Wozniak here, or we start to at this point. Look, I mocked it. People may not agree with it, but Carter Amico, he's going to Boston. You love your Carter Amico. Hey, that's okay.
I like
Put
him.
in there.
I like him. I think he's a big guy, and some people are going to like him. Kind of out there pick that I think people might not expect, but could happen on Friday. I like Hayden Papanekas from Kelowna in the WHL, and I think people really are going to undervalue the size and just his ability to play center. But I think he's someone who could absolutely go in with a late first round spot. Ben Danford was a late first rounder last year. So was Sam O'Reilly. So we'll see. You never know.
All right, Calgary. So this is reversed. It's 30. It's Philadelphia at 31, Calgary at 32. This is the old table. So we got Philadelphia, third pick in the first round. Don't forget, we got 4 more picks coming up in the second round here. So what is the play here? We went Desnoyers, and then
I went Vansagi. I don't know where you went.
Vansagi. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So
this is where I have a guy like Henry Brustevitz.
I already picked him. He's already gone.
Ooh, okay. All right.
He's already
gone.
You know who I like?
You know who I like, who I think is a very Danny Briere sort of player? I think Jacob Rombach could be
in discussion here, right?
Yes. Jacob Rombach from Lincoln. A Minnesota commit. I think
did anyone pick up Boumediene?
He was I had him in discussion several times.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. So Boumediene could be here too. I think right defenseman is what they're going to prioritize. But if they go with a forward, the second pick, this is going to be defenseman. If they don't trade it, they might trade it. So.
You know what? Yeah, there's going to be some package deals for sure. All right, let's move on. Last one here. Calgary, last pick in this, and you better tell me your player because I haven't heard his name yet. Link.
Oh boy. I don't think I'm going to say your boy. I don't think I'm going to say him. So.
What do you got? I'll tell you who. I like.
I might have some egg in my face if I say. Look, if I say who I really like.
Who do you like?
I like Rombach. You're gonna hate this. You're gonna hate this pick. I like Prokhorov, but I think you're gonna want me to say Mason West here.
Mason West, no, but Mason West was one of them. But what about Milton Gastrin? You haven't brought up your
Milton
boy.
Gastrin. Look. I have him top 20, and I will full disclosure. Yeah. He's top 20 in my list. Will he go in the first round? I don't know. I don't know if one of these.
I have him. Because of you. I've mocked him with this last pick. I got Milton Gastrin. You know what? You got to go with Milton Gastrin. Come on.
It's hard not to. The thing is with him is I always, whenever I have a player that high, I'm a little like, oh, I don't know if he's going to go that high, but I think he's going to be a really good player. So.
All right.
The way that I see it, I think that Milton Gastrin is going to be a top 20 player in this class when it's all said and done. But hey, you're at 32. That's a steal. Love it. So that's going to be good.
All right. So that's it for our little discussion. They're just, we didn't really mock it out. We kind of just discussed all the picks to see who would be available. We kind of forgot of a few players because it's all.
We gotta get your guys' brains turning for Friday. Yeah. Some of you are just gonna sit on the couch after work and just be like, "Oh, that's a cool pick." You got to be thinking on your drive home, right? That's what we're here for.
All right, and don't forget tomorrow our live stream, half an hour before the draft at 7 p.m. So 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to get together. We're going to chat with everyone on here. We're going to discuss the picks. We're going to go through all our thoughts and concerns and likes.
There will be some distress in my face. There will be some joy in my face.
You know what? Listen, there's going to be trades. There's going to be movement. There's going to be there's going to be some mind-blowing picks, some ones that were like, ooh, that was kind of sneaky. You know what I mean? So I think we're going to have it's going to be fun. Let's put it that way. It's going to be a blast.
It's gonna be a blast. I'm so excited. So that's just gonna be the highlight of this whole draft year. I can't wait for this discussion. It's gonna be this day. I'm shaking.
It's Christmas. Maybe it's Christmas.
Exactly.
I took off work early to
same here.
Yeah. So that's it for this episode, and we'll see you actually tomorrow live stream right here. We'll set it up on YouTube. Go check it out. Like it before you get on, so we get some traffic. And we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Cheers.